How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Kristian Harloff. This is our Monday through Friday UAP News channel. On Tuesdays, we do a show called UAP Tuesdays. That's on my main channel, the Kristian Harloff channel. We just did a full episode, about an hour and a half, talking about David Grush and a bunch of other things. So come join that if you can. On this channel, we talk about all of the stories that we can get out for the week. There's always a new story. The question is, which is the one that we feel that you guys want to talk about and that you should know about? Well, influence is a big thing in general. And before we even get into it, I would tell you to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe here. We're trying to get to 25,000, and I think that we can do it as long as you hit that button. The algorithm is a stinker. So if you hit that button, you comment, more people will see it. So influence is a real thing, man. And when you are the richest man in the world and you are saying things, people are going to believe you. Not everybody is, but a lot of people are going to believe you. And especially when you have the world at your fingertips, and you have countless amount of money, and you have programs, people are going to believe what you say. A lot of times. Sometimes you can go, I don't know, but you have enough influence, enough people will believe what you're saying. So Elon Musk was asked about, once again, as he's always asked about, like aliens, UFOs. So let me tell you what he said. Here's the video itself.
I've not seen any evidence of aliens. And SpaceX with the Starlink constellation has roughly 6,000 satellites, and not once have we had to maneuver around a UFO. Okay, so we were like, hey, what's that? Is that an alien? Has occurred? Never. So I'm like, okay, I don't see any evidence of aliens, and now look at it. If somebody has evidence of aliens in a that's not just a fuzzy blob, then I'd love to see it, love to hear about it. But I don't think there is. So, which is actually reason for concern, because you could, if any civilization in the Milky Way in our galaxy were to last for 1 million years, even with a speed of travel that's far below the speed of light, like a few % of speed of light, they could easily have explored and colonized the whole galaxy. So they haven't. So why not? I think the answer might be, or perhaps probably is, that civilization is precarious and rare, and that you should really think of human civilization as being like a tiny candle in a vast darkness, and we should do everything possible to ensure that that candle does not go out.
Okay, so look, that one's it's a tough one in general, right? Because what you could do on and this happens a lot, as much as I do think there's a lot of dishonesty coming from a lot of different people, and people going, I don't think they're telling the truth. I think that sometimes people go right away without even hearing the full facts. People go, they're lying. They're this, they're that. They have stuff, and that's why they're not saying anything, which very well could be true. I don't know. But the other thing that could be true is that they're not seeing anything. They haven't seen anything through what they have through SpaceX or whatever it might be. The other side of this is what I believe, and the stuff he's talking about at the end, I agree with him. I don't think that anything has traveled here from light years away. I don't think that it's happened from light years away. I really buy into the notion of the bending of space and time, quantum physics, being able to maneuver through the waters, being able to, again, whether it's a camouflage and do certain things through wormholes and things, that to me is more realistic than the light travel, the light speed travel and all that. And if what I believe, and I'm not saying it's true at all, it's just what I believe. If what I believe is the fact of the matter, SpaceX wouldn't see it, because they're flying around in certain areas that, the way that it's things that have been said. And the other thing that Elon Musk has said, by the way, in this video clip, that I think all of us share the frustration, is when he says, hey, well, when you see something that's not a fuzzy blob, let me know. Not an unfair thing to say. Not an unfair thing to say. Now, again, the critics or the skeptics of his comments could say, I bet you he's holding on to stuff and knows that we won't see certain things, and he knows. Like, I think, again, fair to say. But if you're just judging that, there are things that he says inside of those comments that I don't necessarily say, well, I don't know why he's saying that. I get it on a lot of different fronts, but I want to get Pavel's thoughts on this. Let's bring him in. All right, let's bring Pavel in here. Pavel, all right, so as I ask you every time when I give my little diatribe up top, is there anything in there that you disagree with, agree with what I said, thoughts on Musk in general?
Hey, Kristian, how you doing?
Good, man.
Can we start with what I agree with you, and then we'll move on to the other things?
Sure.
I also think that there has been really no verifiable evidence that any kind of ship has come here from other planets. There are other hypotheses that, funny enough, every time Elon Musk is asked about them or about the objects in specific, he straight goes to aliens.
Right.
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
So I don't think that's a coincidence, because I don't think he doesn't know about all the other hypotheses. He's one of the smartest people in the world and one of the people who reads the most that I've seen. And he has one of the biggest three of the biggest companies in the world, and two of them are linked. And he has contracts with multiple countries all around the world. If he wanted to get those contracts, he would have to sign NDAs, keep quiet about certain stuff that he may or may not see. Plus, there are many videos of rockets from SpaceX that have objects that are close to them or in the vicinity. And he's never addressed those, ever. And nobody has asked him about it either, because even with Joe Rogan, he doesn't talk about, like, specifically the objects. He talks about aliens and
Right.
spits out the same Fermi paradox stuff that he always says.
Right. He always brings up the aliens from outer space argument.
Yeah.
Never.
And the forest hypothesis, he talked about that once too.
Mm-hmm.
The dark forest hypothesis. And honestly, I am slightly lean towards that there is something is going on, definitely. I don't know what it is. I think we're on the same boat, you and I.
Yeah.
And I really don't believe anything he says about this topic, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to, especially, look, I think you hit the nail on the head when you talk about contracts and information and NDAs and the way he kind of laughs it off and certain terminologies and the things that are said. I don't trust anybody with that much money anyway when it comes to, because they hold their secrets to the vest, and it's like, and they also know how to say things. And as I mentioned at the top of this, it's all about influence and certain things okay, look, I'm going to go out there. I'll be able to say this. I don't think you can take, I think you have to take everything that everyone says in this community, and he's part of the community as well too. I think you take everything when it comes to this subject matter with a grain of salt, from the stuff that you believe, the stuff that you don't. You take it all with a grain of salt because you don't know anything and you don't have any information on it. That's this is just concrete evidence of what this actually is, and it's we keep doing this every day on this channel. It's frustrating, it's just frustrating. Even today's show on Big Thing the whole thing was about David Grush, where he's been, what's happening. Here's this big revelation we're finally going to have with this guy, that he's going to speak at this Salt Foundation, and now he's not even doing it anymore, and there's no information. Don't worry, he's going to be here instead. There just seems to be a lot. As much as they try to tell you that arrow thing, like, oh yeah, it was a punch in the gut, but it wasn't a knockout blow. It's starting to look a little bit more like a pretty more damaging blow than they thought it was. Yeah,
and I think that probably there are other stories such as this one that can help us dig in other places and not just focus on the government disclosure initiative, because I know it is very important. I get that. But this recent 4 or 5 months, it's been really like people are getting desperate. Like how it happened in the past. It's happened like 2 or 3 times before. And this story about Elon, it's interesting because you got to look at his actions at the same time you're hearing his words. Yes, he says this, but he also has the platform in which the biggest conversation about UFOs is taking place. And have you noticed that when an article comes out, for example, one of Marek or the Chris Sharp from the Liberation Times, you know, the community notes are active constantly.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a community note on one of their articles, for example?
No.
Or one from the debrief?
Are there?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
There aren't.
Yeah.
And also another one more thing. I'm sorry. There's one link that we need to mention about Elon. And some people were avoiding to say this name for a while, and Jesse Michaels came out and said it in his documentary about T. Townsend Brown. His name is Tim Taylor. And Diana Pasolka talks about him as Tyler in her book American Cosmic. And she mentioned once after her book came out that this Tyler guy, who was Tim Taylor, but we didn't know at the time, is Elon Musk's handler from SpaceX.
Oh, right, right. So
so
it means that he would know a lot of stuff, right? Which means that if this guy's working for SpaceX and all that stuff says all that is true, then it looks like Elon Musk could potentially not be telling the truth there. But
yes,
I would love to see the actual interview with somebody asking those particular questions. Have you ever reached out to an interview with Elon Musk?
Hell no.
Why not? You should. No stone too small, too big, man.
Dude, I really don't even want to talk to him.
Oh, no? You could ask him the hard-hitting questions.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I think he's BS most of the time.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right. Pavel, as always, man, thanks for joining us.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. So now I send it to you. What do you think? Is this one of those things where you're listening and you're going, guys, he sees all this stuff and don't just make this the thing. He's telling you he's got cameras everywhere. They haven't seen anything. So as much as you want to believe it, it ain't a thing. Is that part one? Or do you feel like, no, maybe they're not seeing stuff, but they're not looking in the right places? Or do you take it a step further, like what Pavel is saying, and you go, hey, this guy, if you link into these people that he's associated with, it'll show you that there are people he's working with that say the opposite of what he just said. Where do you land? What do you say? Go ahead and comment. Tell us what you think. As I told you when I started, Monday through Friday, we're here. You want to follow us on over to the other channel, you can go on over there too. Not only do I do a UAP Tuesday show, but I also do like movie reviews and other things over there too, and pop culture and all that. So you want to head on over there and follow me. That's just the Kristian Harloff channel. But we're on podcast form, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Every one of these little clips, all of our podcasts. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Pavel. See you later.